Hello, very beautiful community. Let's say a word or two about Epstein and Russia, or for that matter, Epstein and Israel. There are two conversations that I will have about this that I have been asked to have by a lot of correspondence I've got from you. One's about Epstein and Chomsky, and I spent half a night looking through all the Chomsky correspondence a few days ago, and the other is the latest claims by Christopher Steele about Epstein's association with the Russians. We'll likely have a chat about both of these in the coming days, but I just want to do something general and give us an orientation about how to think of Epstein as an asset. When I am less well, when my health is less good, I get very grumpy. And when I get very grumpy, I tell off the beautiful community for making all kinds of epistemic mistakes because I just get extremely mean. And so I thought now is a good time to get mean and tell us off about something we often are at risk of doing. And that's that we are very bad at seeing that there are certain global social forces that are doing the rounds, which condition our political and geopolitical environment. One way I've pressed this point is by arguing for a couple of years that Trump and Putin are an instantiation of a similar political and ideological expression. I've argued that they are both monarchists, that they are both hyper-neoliberals, and that they are both partly fascicized, Putin much more so than Trump. That's not because Putin made Trump. It's because there are certain global pulls and pushes. We're all under the influence of them, and some of us more so than others, and the Russians are just an extreme case of being victims of a series of global diseases. There is something that's distinctive about the Kremlin, particularly its mysticism, sure. But on the whole, the Russians are a very extreme case of the sort of thing that is actually happening organically to post-truth authoritarian political actors in the West. So there is a connection there. And the connection is about convergence. It's not about contagion. Now, the Russians would like us to become really bad victims of these global diseases doing the rounds, these global forces causing political diseases doing the rounds. But that doesn't mean that if we succumb to that fate, that'll be because the Russians have caused it. They may have played a causal part, but it wouldn't be central. And so once we get that basic conceptual wherewithal into place, we can begin to see the Epstein network as a diffuse global criminal network that functioned as a kind of carousel, episodically converging very different kinds of interests and serving them in different ways. So that's not the picture which says that Epstein is a Russian asset in the sense that the Russians, or for that matter the Israelis, are doing task designation for him. In the sense that he's loyal to them. In the sense that he has got a brief about which interests and what kind of systematic way need to be advanced over time. It's rather a kind of very unlovely network into which various actors step in, hoping to gain a benefit as a consequences of a convergence of interests. And so what that means in practice isn't that the network is working for the Russians. What it means is that it's going to do something for the Russians. And then it's going to do something for the Israelis. And then it's going to do something for actors from the Gulf. That's one multifaceted way to think about it. There is also kind of a mixed up way to think about it. It might do something for the Russians via actors in the Gulf. It might do something for the Russians via Israelis. And another way to think about it is a kind of internal complexity within each of these group designations I've given. Because it's entirely plausible that this network does something for certain Russian actors and against certain other Russian actors. So there is a plurality there. There is interpenetration there. There is diffusion and internal complexity there within each group of actors you can think of. And this wash keeps changing shape over time while sustaining certain patterns. So if you want to call Epstein an asset, he is to a degree a kind of everything asset or multifaceted asset in a diffuse and complex way. What he is not a hierarchical asset of a single state actor. Right? And so that more diffuse picture of a network of sort of global convenience is more scary. It's more scary because you can't just turn it off by exposing it and shutting it down. Because it's a sort of thing that in different ways will be, organically remanifesting itself once you nip in the bud certain particular manifestations of it. So it's not a hierarchical conspiracy you can expose and turn off. Right? It's just a particularly unlovely manifestation of a diffuse network that anyway has a propensity to form in our current global environment. So it's healthy to make that distinction. Thank you for allowing me to begin to make it for us. Lots of love. Talk soon.